Hi, I'm Doug Ellingsworth, pastor of a small church in a small southern town. Wanting to make a difference in my community, I volunteered to serve as a police chaplain. Now, ours is a close-knit, quiet little town, so I was happy to drop in on our police officers every now and then, confident that nothing would happen in our little part of the world that I wasn't prepared and equipped to handle. That's why I thought the call that came that Wednesday morning was part of a training exercise. A gunman taking a class at our local community college hostage was a far-fetched notion, but it would be something that our special response team would train for. But this was no training exercise. A disturbed young man waving a gun walked into one of the classrooms on the second floor of one of the buildings on campus. And for the next 9 hours, the campus was swarming with law enforcement officers from a dozen different agencies, worried parents looking for their children, news trucks with huge satellite dishes extended, family members from all around the region, and right behind them, a row of ambulances sat waiting, everybody expecting the worst. I was at the other end of the campus where the hostages' families were gathered when the police chief came running up. "I need you to get up there and talk to my negotiator. He's taking this hard," he told me. He then turned and hurried into the building where all the families were waiting. What I didn't know was just minutes before, the gunman had suddenly started firing his gun. Immediately, our police rushed the room and they killed him, but not before he shot and seriously wounded 3 of the students. Behind a desk in a tiny office on the other side of the wall from where the hostages were was where our negotiator sat. He thought they were going to be able to resolve this standoff with nobody being hurt when he heard those shots ring out. Now, the chief wanted me to talk to him, to help him put all the pieces back together so that it made sense and that he could feel good about what he had done. A Tennessee Bureau of Investigation agent led me to where he was. As soon as the 2 of us were alone in that little office, I realized that I was woefully unprepared for this moment. Now, I can say a prayer and I can lead a song. I'm a pretty good listener. But none of that was what my good friend needed to hear at that moment. So we shared a few awkward moments of silence, interrupted by my occasional attempts to ease his mind. We prayed for the students who'd been injured, and then with nothing left to say, I left. As I walked alone through that dark and empty parking lot that night, I swore to myself that I'd never be in that position again. I'd either learn what I was supposed to do in those moments or I'd just quit. I never wanted to experience that miserable, useless feeling again. So with the guidance of my good friend and fellow chaplain, Bob Miller, I began taking every class and seminar I could find that would prepare me to perform correctly in moments like that. We were only a few months into that learning process when a tornado roared through our community, destroying scores of homes and killing 16 people. Once again, our chaplains were neck deep in an event that we never thought we'd face. Through that night and into the next day, we helped families find their injured loved ones. We accompanied the less fortunate ones to the morgue. Over the next few weeks, we organized counseling and critical incident stress management events for the emergency responders. We led cleanup and repair teams. We helped our neighbors navigate FEMA and other assistant agency paths. Once more, I was reminded how unprepared I was to minister and assist in these critical situations. By now I understood that tragic events happen everywhere. Small towns and rural communities are not exempt from natural disasters, nor from bearing the brunt of some troubled soul's anger. I continued to study and train and eventually became a board-certified crisis chaplain. Along the way, I became approved to teach some of those courses that are essential to help others be prepared. Knowing that there are others who, right now, or like I was that night the chief sent me to minister to the negotiator, I started crisischaplain.us to help them get prepared. Through crisischaplain.us, we help churches, businesses, first responders, and other groups avoid trauma when possible, teach them how to survive it when they must, and how to build a new normal when it's over. That's the condensed version of how I got here and why crisischaplain.us exists. If you want to be prepared to face whatever the future may toss at you, your church, or your company, let us know. We're ready to help you get there.